I am debuting my Matcha Mochi Doughnuts. To get started, I have 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter melting, and I'm gonna turn off the heat and let this cool briefly while I make my starter. I'm gonna make a starter which is gonna help the dough come together, and that's just a 1/4 cup of glutinous rice flour mixed with 3 tablespoons of milk. And glutinous rice flour is found at Asian grocery stores or specialty grocery stores, or of course, online. And I love it because it's going to make these donuts have that satisfying, chewy texture that is the hallmark of mochi. I'll mix this together, and I'll heat it for a few minutes until it's thick and sticky. Mochi is a sweet, sticky dough that's made of rice flour, and sometimes it's filled with ice cream, other times it's fried, and it's delicious in all forms. Once this starter starts to thicken up, it thickens up really quickly, and then it forms this blob of dough. I'm gonna let this cool briefly while I mix up my remaining dry ingredients. I'll get 2 more cups of rice flour. I'll add 1/3 cup of sugar. Next, I'll grab my matcha powder. Matcha is very finely ground green tea leaves. It has this beautiful, natural, earthy green color and the flavor of green tea. I'm gonna add 1 tablespoon. I'll add 2 teaspoons of baking powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Now I'll mix to combine. Got a whiff of that earthy green tea-ness. Okay, this is combined. Now I'm gonna mix up my wet ingredients. I'll get 1/2 cup of whole milk. And this has been coming to room temperature. I don't want it to be too cold and firm up that melted butter. I'll grab 1 egg. I'll add in my melted butter. And then a teaspoon of vanilla will go really nicely with the matcha flavor. I'll whisk this to combine. I'm getting so excited for the concert. Okay, with my mixer on low, I'll drizzle in the wet ingredients. Look at that color. Ugh, I love it. Now I'm gonna grab my starter. I'll plop this right in. I'm gonna mix this on high. The starter's all mixed in. The dough is still really sticky though, which is what I want. So I'm gonna dust my surface with a lot of rice flour. Working with this dough is a lot about feeling. I'll use my hands to bring the dough together, kneading in as much flour as I need to in order for it to become smooth and not too sticky to work with. Next, I'm gonna roll out my dough until it's about 1/2 inch thick. I'll grab a piece of parchment paper, and I have my cookie cutter, which is around 1 1/4 inch cutter, and I'm gonna cut out 6 little circles. I'll place this onto my parchment square. I'll cut out 5 more circles. I'll form my circles into a ring, and I'll give this a little hug so that they stick together. And it looks just like that. How cute. I'm gonna keep on stamping out my circles, and then I'll be ready to fry. I have some neutral oil heating in my pot to 340 degrees. And to make sure that the little balls stay together, I'm actually gonna put them into the fryer on the parchment paper. I'll fry these in batches so that I don't crowd the pan, otherwise the temperature of the oil could drop and that makes a greasy donut. And I'll use tongs now to slip that parchment paper out from under the donuts. And once they're brown on one side, I can gently flip them over and fry on the other side. They look like flowers, because flowers, congratulations, post-concert, merriment. I planned this all along. And you know they're ready when they're golden on the other side too. I'll transfer this to my wire rack so that any excess oil can drip off. I'm gonna continue frying in batches. To decorate, my donuts are fully cooled. I'll take one and I'm gonna dunk it into the glaze about halfway. And this is just powdered sugar and matcha whisked together with milk and lemon juice. I'll let any excess glaze drip off. And before the glaze sets, I'm gonna add sprinkles. It's a special occasion. So cute. Talk about a masterpiece. Now it's time to decorate the rest. I love these. How good do they look? Okay, I have to make sure they're top notch for my dad, so I'm gonna taste one. It's so chewy and sweet, and I love that green tea flavor.